Welcome back into Full Screen Podcast. We are back! Happy 2025. I'm your host, Kira Aster, and joining me today, as always, fresh off her Asian sojourn, ready to dive into the media award season, it's Raven Ebert. How are you, Raven?
I am so good. The best thing that I ended up doing was taking that nighttime walk around Hanoi. My mom and I went on a tour together to Vietnam, and unfortunately we didn't have time to go to the Wong Wine Bar, which I really wanted to do. That's my next thing to do, because honestly I would just book a trip to Vietnam just to go to a wine bar themed after Wong Kar Wai.
No free ads for New York Times 36 hours in Hanoi, but we love it. Anyone who's going to Hanoi has to go to Wong Wine Bar.
I'm just saying, I wish we had more wine bars after, themed after movies and filmmakers. I have a feeling now that maybe with the passing of the great David Lynch, we're gonna start seeing some Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive references, some Blue Velvet wine bars. I think it might be a good time to bring that up with the permission of his estate, of course, because I really don't think David Lynch would mind having like a coffee bar named like Diane.
Oh my god. Quick facts about me. I love David Lynch. Number 2, I'm doing my Twin Peaks rewatch, third or fourth rewatch, and I do not drink coffee, as you know. I do not drink coffee, but while watching this series, I've invested in coffee. There's every day I'm drinking that black coffee, cup of coffee, and it's heaven.
I think Miyazaki obviously has a lot of places that are clearly inspired by him, like cute, cozy little cafes, but I would love to see like a horrible, dank Nosferatu by Robert Eggers.
Yes. Listen, give me all the Nosferatu merch, and I'll be Lily Rose Depp with the tongue out, the eyes rolled back.
I mean, you can buy the sarcophagus. A24, well done. You know that Robert Eggers has 2 types of fans, just like film critics and absolute freaks. We'd like to believe we're like Bill Skarsgård, like, this is incredible. You almost made me less upset about the Crow remake.
King of
Incredible
Freaks.
Performance. Yeah, King of Freaks.
Okay,
really.
So we haven't recorded since like last August. We took a well-deserved break, right? Like stuff going on, we relaxed, it was great. Now we're back to regular speed. 1 or 2 things that we would like to say, highlights since then in pop culture, in the industry, in film, TV, tech that are relevant. What comes to mind?
They tried to take the circus away by banning TikTok. And TikTok said, you know what? We'll see what happens. And they, presented a message to US-based users saying that, hey, looks like we're about to get banned, so sorry.
It was a push notification. I believe it was push notification that they used, so everyone was notified with a push notification on their devices. It wasn't just like when you went on TikTok.com.
Oh my god.
Insidious.
I mean, that's just smart marketing. That's just PMM 101, baby. We can't get mad at that.
A field that is dying. Bring PMMs back, baby.
I'm just saying, they had their moment, and then they came back by saying, all hail President Trump. God King Trump has brought us back from the dead. A considerable economy that is outside of the short form content creation that is dependent on TikTok.
Hold on. How will I watch Oppenheimer in 42 parts?
You can't. To quote the late great David Lynch, you are watching films on your telephone. Get real. Don't do it. I mean, I think personally, Christopher Nolan will bring the spirit of David Lynch upon you.
Odysseus next for him, right? Or the Odyssey.
I mean, there's people who are relying on TikTok for advertising. right? They're small businesses that have nothing to do with content making. It's about like people who are, I don't know, I've seen a lot of interesting things around furniture flips. People just buy old things from Facebook Marketplace, strip off dirty paint. That's cool. That's a great way to buy furniture. It's secondhand without it being like grimy or dirty. Yeah, it's sustainable. That's a great thing to promote. And there's tons of things like that on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok actually there's a side of TikTok that's quite dangerous and addictive, as we know, but there's a side that is pretty good and enjoyable. The worst side, let's agree. We all agree that it's Gen A going to Sephora and getting retinol products at the age of 11.
I mean,
girl, you need to suffer with acne? This is a rite of passage to being human. Okay, there's no elegant way to do this, but let's switch gears and tell the listeners how they can reach out to us if they have any requests for topics or unsolicited thoughts, about TikTok ban for 5 hours.
We're not on TikTok. And I think that we shouldn't be, because unless you are a content creator who engages personally, as in with your face, we love being anonymous freaks. So reach out to us on...
We are on OnlyFans though, so...
Well, yeah. Find us on Instagram, at Instagram and YouTube. At fullscreen_pod. You can find our YouTube channel and leave us comments there. Be sure to subscribe, like our videos when they go out. They're usually posted a couple of weeks after the audio comes out. If you want to get in touch with us on Twitter, we're also at fullscreen_pod. But we are minimizing our presence there even more because...
Blue Sky?
Yeah, I think we're going to make the jump to Blue Sky soon enough. But if you need to reach out to us via email, we're at fullyscreened@gmail.com. Reach out to us with ideas for what you'd like to see us cover. If there's a topic you'd like us to revisit, there's been a breakneck pace in the change of the technology landscape that probably merits us going back to several topics that we have covered already. But yeah, that's us on the social media. We're trying to detox and be more present, but we know that we need an outlet to reach out to people who listen to us. So be
these
patient.
Eyes be hurting. Listen, self-care comes in different forms. You know what I mean? All right, today's topic. So we're covering things in a slightly updated format. You'll find out as you listen. It's it's slightly different. But today's topic, we're doing a 2024 review, long overdue streaming report card. We're gonna do a roundup of the big services, the little guys, and see where they land and assign them a grade. Are you excited, Raven?
This is a important financial advisory kind of episode, right? Like, you get to decide what you are spending your money on, including these streaming services, and what better place to come find out which streaming services you should engage with than from two people who are feverishly obsessed with this kind of stuff. Let's go after the big bullies in the schoolyard, yeah?
All right, welcome to the Big Four. Our first section today is called the Big Four. See, noticing the little changes in our outline. So in this section, we're gonna address some of the big guys, right? Your Jeff Bezoses, plural, trademark.
Yeah.
Your Bob Igers, your Ted Sarandos, all of that stuff, and talk about how their services have done over the year of 2024, year of our Lord 2024, and yeah, assign them a grade. I might, Raven, sneak in a little bit of the little guys here, just a little shout out, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So the format, yeah, go ahead.
It's hard to not talk about like multiple streaming services at the time because we are, doing a comparison. But yeah, ultimately the goal is to grade like the ones with the biggest sugar daddies, shall we say.
Yes. So the way I am gonna go about it is, and Raven, feel free to like chime in at any point, is I'm going to look at the Nielsen data engagement, which is Nielsen for the first time in 2024. Nielsen Group did a media distributor gauge study, kind of looking at all of the media companies and sort of engagement throughout all of the platforms. And they, for the first time, looked at streamers and traditional media, so Paramount versus Netflix. And there's a whole science of how they calculate the engagement and like viewership and all of that, which, you know, we'll link it in our show notes, but we won't go into it here. So we'll talk about the Nielsen data engagement for each service. We'll talk about some of the highlights from 2024 in terms of content of each service. We'll talk about some of the awards and buzz for the content and these services. We'll talk about the latest numbers on subscribers and revenue. And I've added a bonus category of any buzz and upcoming things coming in 2025 and beyond. So while the service and the platform relevant in 2024, how does it capitalize on the buzz going forward?
I mean, I love judging and bitching. I love it in any format. You don't have to ask me.
Okay, so let's start with Jeff Bezos, Amazon Prime. Just a little platform that could. So Amazon Prime Video. So 3.2 Nielsen data engagement. So that, and I'm looking at the diagram here of the little chart of how it ranks against all the other services. It is, compared to all the other platforms, about 9th on the list with its 3.2% Nielsen.
Right in the middle.
Viewership.
Yeah.
I'll give you one guess on who's number one, and we'll get to that next. So people were engaging with the service, you know, fairly frequently. Obviously, like if this is your bread and butter as a streamer, this is not where you want to be, but luckily Amazon Prime also has another side of its business, which I think it's going to do pretty well. I don't know. We'll see though.
The real side of its business. I mean, Amazon's main business, like, is
it's a little bookstore, Raven.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's definitely not hosting Amazon Web Services upon which, like, the entire internet has to run. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
By the way, guys, you guys thought it's the e-commerce side. It's actually AWS. Raven is correct.
AWS is a big moneymaker. Mm-hmm.
Some of the films and shows that were highlights of 2024, The Boys, I believe on season 4 now, which I haven't caught up on. Rings of Power season 2, that was, I would say, the big marquee show. Took 2 years in the making, this season 2.
Like $1 billion, basically.
It's just absolute, like the money in this show is kind of ridiculous. All going to Tolkien Estate, I hope, which they deserve. Fallout is another breakout. Ella Purnell just thriving. We love our Yellow Jackets girl.
Yeah, and
Mr.
it was
and
just
Mrs.
a
Smith.
really well-made show. It has Kyle MacLachlan going back to David Lynch. It's all Lynchian, confirmed.
Coop, Agent Coop, just got flashes of Audrey and Coop just flirting a ton. Problematic, yes. Sexy, also yes.
I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was problematic flirting. The problem was that they wanted to kill each other. It was also a very sexy show.
Yeah, very sexy show, which is going to continue, I believe, for season 2 with a new cast coming pretty soon. And then My Old Ass is a movie that really stood out to me with...
Girl, it's Aubrey Plaza. She did such a good job. But it was by MGM Studios, I think. So I did see it in theaters, I was like, oh, I'm going to support an indie movie. And then I saw MGM and I was like, never mind. It's not indie.
I was a troll and I watched it, on Amazon Prime Video, which, fun fact, guys, if you forgot, MGM owned and operated by Amazon Prime.
Can't wait to see the next James Bond series on Amazon Prime.
I hope the broccolis hold strong. Okay, so awards. Minimal. I would say minimal awards buzz, which is pretty usual for the service. Got some awards, but mostly due to the MGM ownership. So Fargo season 4, MGM got a couple wins at the Emmys last year. So that's the only call out. But again, it's the MGM connection, not like a Prime Video original show. Subscribers, this number is hazy because when you try to look up information, it always gives you information on Amazon Prime subscribers. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you're automatically an Amazon Prime Video subscriber with ads now. Obviously, you have to upgrade to be without ads. So I don't think this numbers, especially for this platform, really matters, right? Like, it's 15 billion in revenue last year, 180 million subscribers. There's no way to distinguish if it's just like Prime Video subscribers or Prime service for like toilet paper subscribers, you know? So this number, negligible for this service. Okay, buzz and upcoming shows, movies. Invincible season 3, I believe season 3, yeah, not season 2, is coming out. Oh no, season 2 part 2, I believe, is coming out. I don't know. I didn't keep up with the last.
I hate this tactic. It's gonna backfire.
It's just absolutely either do week to week, you know, or it's ridiculous. Reacher is coming out, which this show will never die. It will just always be alive with new casts.
Dad shows.
Yes.
Remember we talked about like the a spy, like James Bondish kind of thing called Citadel, that I think
turned out to be awful.
Oh yeah, I think you actually finished. I didn't. I was just like, I'm checking out. Would you recommend ever going for like the ad-free, like top tier subscription, or just stick to what you get with your Prime? Right? Yeah.
But it's not, listen, there's no marquee shows that really appeal. And then Ultimate Judgment, I would say, remains one of those like legacy, unsexy platforms you just have because you wanted to order, like, I don't know, macrame hangers for your plants, you know what I mean? It's just there because it's just always been there in the background. Maybe your parents have it and you just use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's their bread and butter, right? Like, they don't really, like, the Prime platform is more for e-commerce. So.
I will say that just reminds me of I think at one point we'll have to do a pod on the greatest product placement in a content ever, and my vote, I'll tell you now, spoiler alert, is the Pepsi can edging in Madam Web.
Cinema, I'll say.
Dakota Johnson coming out and saying, with all due respect, that wasn't me in that movie.
That's incredible, Dakota, but whatever movies I've seen you in besides Suspiria, you've pretty much been doing this, so yeah.
All right, so we'll slap a grade of a C+ on Amazon Prime. All right, let's move on to Netflix. One of the big dogs, and unfortunately had a pretty fantastic year.
I mean, that's why they're raising their prices.
Yeah. As an aside, I know, Raven, you have thoughts on Amelia Perez. 13. A historic 13 Oscar nomination.
Yeah, I have thoughts on Amelia Perez. Yeah, I do.
Groundbreaking trans rights. You know?
I guess they did.
Good God. 13. By the way, I just want to... Guys... 13 nominations is what Lord of the Rings Return of the King got.
It's the same!
But then again, I believe Green Book also got like 13 nominations, so it's a hit or miss.
Yep, same caliber, same.
Just absolute awful. So Nielsen data engagement, 7.6%. So this places Netflix at about the 5th spot in this little chart that I'm looking at, which we'll share, of course, and a solid place to be. They're coming up, and the only media groups above Netflix are legacy groups, with the exception of one, which probably is my winner of last year. So let's see, 7.6, which is pretty solid, pretty great. Films and shows of last year that stood out: Bridgerton, Ripley, Baby Reindeer, which has been gathering a lot of momentum and winning a lot of awards, Three Body Problem, and the best show ever, the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I did not abandon after the third episode.
Okay, Baby Reindeer was great. That had more to say about the trans experience than Amelia Perez. just
Post-March.
incredible TV. Like Baby Reindeer was one of those things where I was just like, oh yeah, this is what streaming services were created for, because outside of HBO, this kind of content has like no hope in getting made, and you cannot condense this into a movie. It has to be a mini series, and so incredible performances. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like just
I love fresh new faces coming out of nowhere and getting like, yes. When I say fresh new faces, like these people have been hustling but never getting their big break. So
I love that there were no Nepo babies involved in the cast. Yeah.
This is a shot at Lily Rose Depp, who, surprisingly, spoiler, we loved in Nosferatu.
I could not stop staring at her 6 head. Girlfriend did not have a 4 head or a 5 head. She had a straight up 6 head, and I was like,
but I will
Orlok
say that really, he does. That really added to the aura of like that she was portraying. That little, like, she looked beautiful and spooky at the same time. I'm like, what is going on with your face?
Right, but that's why she gets to do things with other failed son Sam Levinson and The Weeknd in The Idol. And Netflix said, yeah, no, we're good.
Euphoria season 3, baby!
Yeah, I'm sure that's coming. Netflix instead decided to do like actually genuinely cool things like Baby Reindeer and Blue Eye Samurai. Like, my God. That was so speaking good.
Of Blue Eye Samurai, like, let's transition to award buzz. So Ripley with Andrew Scott, so happy for Andrew Scott, got a lot of attention, very artistic, very beautiful series.
And it washed out the horrible feeling of the failure of Saltburn, which was a flop talented Mr. Ripley anyway. Like, it was
fucking awful.
Talentless Mr. Ripley. Take that, Amazon.
Only one good thing came out of that movie, which was the last 5 minutes. Animation, I swear I'm not Sabrina Carpenter. Animation had Blue Eye Samurai come through, so Blue Eye Samurai, just chef's kiss. An amazing, amazing show that everyone should watch, whether animation fans or not. And season 2, I believe, coming out next year and in production now. So in terms of subscribers, great news for Netflix. So as of the third quarter of 2024, Netflix had 282.7 million paid subscribers worldwide. The majority of Netflix subscribers that grew last year were in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. I mean, there's very few people that we know in the Americas, I would say, or Northern America, that don't have Netflix. It's just like, it's become part and parcel of like existing as a human. So yes, a little growth to be had here, but there's a lot of growth in other countries, emerging markets. Netflix's ad-supported tier gained around 1.4 million subscribers in Q3 of 2024. 1.4 million subscribers. My question is, are you ad-supported tier, Raven, or are you ad-free?
No, I'm ad-free because I'm watching Netflix with a very specific intention of watching a title. Unlike Amazon, which I'm just like, oh, I'll just use this to pass the time while I'm doing something else, which is why I don't mind ads there, because to me it feels like what TV used to be. You just turn it on and have it in the background. Netflix is lean in viewing. So for me, it is worth it to get it without the ads, because it also is something that I have on my phone and I download for offline viewing, so I don't end up raw dogging flights, which I know some weirdos out there do.
I'm popping a melatonin and
they're not sleeping. They're not watching anything. They're not listening to anything. They're not reading anything. They're just, I think, staring psychotically at the flight map.
The story. My flight from Doha to Vietnam to Hanoi was, I met such freaks. They were sitting right next to me. It was a couple who, for 7.5 hours, closer to 8, did not get up to pee once. The meal service came, three times, and they refused water and any meals. I did not see them move. I did not see them sleep. I did not see them watch anything on their computer. I think they were just there, not moving, and it freaked me out. I was like, I was the aisle seat, and I asked them multiple times, hey guys, Do you want to go to the bathroom? I'm cool moving.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
the raw dogging.
You encountered like CIA robots or something like that. I don't know, but
Truly.
I can't do that. And
so for me, I'm currently ad supported tier, and I'm waiting for the marquee shows to come back. Your Stranger Things, your Wednesdays, to really, for a period of time, upgrade to the ad free tier. So we'll see. But in terms of moving on to revenue, 37.5 billion in revenue last year, guys. So I think they're going to be okay. You know, Ted, Bella, I think they're fine.
yeah, they're definitely cutting down on what they're investing in as well. We're not seeing so many new shows come out. Being careful with what they're putting on their platform.
I have so many thoughts. 14.8 increase in year-over-year revenue with this figure. The buzz and upcoming section, so all the marquee shows are coming back, baby, is Stranger Things Wednesday, all slated for this year. Wednesday, I think, unsure if it's coming out this year, but Stranger Things for sure. All the kids are 40, you know, so they got...
My God, I'm gonna say Bill Hader looks younger than Finn Wolfhard.
Bill is looking good. Allie's good for him. Noteworthy, I will say, Netflix will stop reporting subscriber numbers and average revenue per member in the first quarter of 2025. Great. You know, like...
Why?
I guess that's better than reporting like AI account numbers, which a certain CEO is going to do.
God.
Against Raven, in real time, I'm switching the grade of the service and upgrading it to an A. I think Netflix had a really good year. They did a good job, and contrary to how Zoe Saldana pronounced Bella, Bela, Auntie Bela's name, it's Bela Bajaria, not Bela Baharia, who's just thriving, and we're so happy for her.
Oh, Zoe! Okay.
Next service, Disney Plus. So, 11.5 Nielsen data engagement, which places it in this list at number 1. Number fucking 1. Boo-hoo for Bob Iger. Great. 11.5. That's pretty high in terms of like how they calculate, you know, engagement with like all the little, you know, things that they put in the equation.
Let's not forget that the ratings for ABC also count in Nielsen.
And Hulu. And what's on Hulu? FX. So they got the bear. Yeah, so it's all... It really... All of Disney's magic has really come from, like, the properties that it acquired. Let's be real. You know, throughout the years.
Yeah, which is, like, the legacy of Michael Eisner, really. Yeah, because... Disney was very much known for its own thing, and that changed so radically starting with Michael Eisner.
When the Bobs came in.
And then the Bob, and Bob was like his the Vader to, you know, Michael Eisner's Palpatine.
Which one, Chapek or Iger?
Iger. I don't think Chapek hit. But yeah, that would account for like them up there so high because it's kind of containing Hulu as well. So yeah.
Contains Hulu, exactly. And then what it does is actually, what a smart play, because then you're like the on-demand television, and then you're also factoring in like the traditional television, right? So Abbott Elementaries and all those shows are really factoring into the equation of this really smart play. So they're not dumb over there on Disney. They're definitely doing, at least in the acquisition side, they know what they're doing. Okay, so films and shows that stood out. Pretty decent year. I think they're gonna have an even bigger year, especially MCU kicking up again with shows and movies this year. So Deadpool, Wolverine, against all odds, $1 billion, baby. Moana 2, X-Men 97.
I was like, yeah, you know, contextually, in the story, in the format, yeah, I'd bone Magneto too.
Yeah, there was no point of showing him shirtless and veiny and so sexy with the hair flowing, but I didn't know that I needed and wanted it, and it was a wonderful time. Tales of the Empire, Star Wars show, Skeleton Crew, which I haven't finished the finale of, but it's been a really nice watch. It's Jude Law in Star Wars and a bunch of little plucky kids, and it's like mirrors Andor in a way that it takes place in the Star Wars universe, but it could be any other show, right? It's just a story of kids and getting into a misadventure. I'm really enjoying Skeleton Crew.
It sounds like Scooby-Doo, where you were like... It's like Scooby-Doo,
It is, which I love. I love Scooby-Doo. Well, no spoilers, but Jude Law has dimensions to his character. I will say that.
So it's the Scooby-Doo that we both love, Buffy. Okay.
Agatha All Along, which absolutely turned out to be such a delightful show, sort of prequel, sequel situation to WandaVision. The Acolyte, which unfortunately got canceled. Like, stand by your show's creators. What the fuck? Not creators, I should say platforms. Echo, which came and went. It was a Daredevil sort of prequel, another Marvel show. Didn't generate buzz, but I didn't watch it. My friends who have watched it, they said it was, quote, okay.
Oh no.
And then a big movie for Disney, another $1 billion earner, Inside Out 2. So they did okay last year. In terms of awards, lots of buzz. So because of the properties that they own, 9 wins, 60 total, and this is Emmys, record-breaking because of the Hulu FX connection. 60 total is insane, right? These are like below the level and above the line awards. Below the line and above the line, sorry. So actors, those awards, and then below the line that are for technical categories. Mm-hmm. Subscribers. 158 million subscribers in the fourth quarter of 2024, 122 million core paid subscribers for the year.
Yeah, and I think it's fair for us to also judge this together, but as somebody who has like one of those combo subscriptions to Hulu and Disney Plus, I definitely would say that the Disney Plus is the sort of ancillary item.
Yeah.
The main thing I wanted was Hulu, which is what we're discussing in terms of prestige and critical acclaim. And I think that for me, Disney Plus is a great place to go have a digital back catalog of things that Disney has put out, including the old like Fox TV shows, the animated Sunday morning cartoons that used to come out. I've been watching X-Men Evolution again after I finished X-Men 97. It's a good place for that, and I think if you have a household with
kids,
people of multiple ages, yes, exactly, but also like, it's a good thing to have for entertaining people.
It's an essential service. It has Bluey. It keeps it helps parents, keep their kids busy.
Yeah.
So it's really got a lot going for it.
So watching these like old Disney animated shows, I loved it, but I was also very sad that kids these days don't get to experience that because Disney completely shut down the hand-drawn animation department. So it's all these really ugly looking digital creations, and there's no joy and love that
Bluey's still pretty. Shout out to Bluey. Shout out to Australia.
I did get recommended a video called Bluey is Propaganda, so I'm gonna have to look into this.
I have seen
this is really funny.
I will say the revenue was pretty good as well, just transitioning quickly to 321 million, second year in a row. Just great. Great buzz, great revenue, second year in a row profit. And then buzz and upcoming, I will say this is Marvel's year. Doctor Doom is back, Robert Downey is back. We have Fantastic Four, we have the new Captain America, we have Thunderbolts.
Those are all theatrical releases that eventually will come to Disney Plus for digital.
Correct.
Yeah.
They've moved away from Disney Plus first movie
original
releases. Yes.
interesting.
Even
and
though
like,
Daredevil Born Again is about to come in a couple weeks.
And Blade, don't forget Blade.
It's still happening. It's totally happening.
It's coming, you guys. We promise.
Don't even worry about it. So just quickly, transitioning to Hulu, which is just a wing of Disney, but I will maintain, you guys know, it's still my favorite service. I love the fucking UI. I love the green colors. Now it's like a little bit changed. But awards dominated. The Bear, Shogun. Guys, just Emmys were ruled by these two shows, and FX on Hulu is it.
Shogun deserved it.
Just absolute amazing show. Season 2 coming, which we'll see what they do there.
Also, just want to say, it is such a good-looking show. Like, TV shows are just not made to look that good. I think The Bear does a semi-good job, especially because a lot of it is around, like, plating really expensive food. So, yeah,
Corner!
You gotta be very, deliberate about that. And they do cool things like, one-ers and one-take stuff. But Shogun is such a good-looking show, and I feel like, it's just FX and HBO making cool, interesting, beautifully shot TV show.
With HBO, you just mean one show. Let's just say it. Okay, HBO hasn't done shit in like the last couple of years. There's one show that stands out that looks beautiful in the last year.
The Idol, of course. I'm talking about The Weeknd doing coke off of Lily Rose's ass. That's what I meant.
It was a great time when new episodes came out and new memes were produced everywhere on social media. Amazing. Subscribers, Hulu. 52 million, revenue 650 million, buzz and upcoming. So Alien Earth, a prequel by Noah Hawley. So that will be really interesting. I'm pretty interested in that. Starring Timothy Olyphant. So sign me up. I'm in.
Ooh, where's his fine ass been? Yeah. He aged very gracefully.
Oh, the little sheriff on Tatooine is the last time I saw him. And then the Justified new season that came out.
Yeah.
Still fine as hell,
Still fine as hell. See, this is what happens when you mind your own business. Like, you just age really well.
A lot of comfort videos for me are him and Conan O'Brien interviews. Timothy on Conan. Just fun banter, cute, non-problematic guys just chilling. Conan also hosting the Oscars. Great choice.
Thank you for moving away from these fucking insipid Jimmies. Bring back my Conan. He's problematic, he's a lecherous fuck, and he's from Harvard, and he's Irish, and I still don't care. I still love him. Despite all of those things.
Love Conan. Noteworthy, so to me, it remains the most enticing UX, most responsive, with high discoverability and integration of content. It's just, I will not watch Hulu now that it's part of Disney Plus. I don't go on Disney Plus to watch the Hulu content. I still go on like the Hulu standalone app, which I'm so glad they're still maintaining and not decommissioning. The video player on Hulu is just one of my favorites. They've changed the video player on Hulu on Disney Plus. Absolutely trash. So all my Buffy rewatch, so I'm on season 6, Raven, is on Hulu. I'm not doing that on Disney. Get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Remember I tried to gaslight you and say that Dawn had always been there, and I didn't know what you were talking about. What do you mean she's always had a sister? This is good!
Now I get it! Amazing. Okay, this is my highest grade for all of the big services. So A+. All of my rewatches are here too. The comfort rewatches, Futurama, Ebert, 30 Rock, Schitt's Creek, Regular Show, Family Guy. It's just the service that I go on the most consistently. So Hulu, shout out. I will say, Raven, quick little, I know I'm sneaking this in, but bonus points I wanted to assign to some services that are not part of the big four. Spotify did a great job. It's a streamer, so I definitely want to give it a shout out. 252 premium subscribers, 640 million accounts that are free. One of the things that I will say, audiobooks. Its entry into audiobooks last year was like a big foray. got a lot of attention, I have now switched to, I'm a big audiobook listener, as you know, not used Audible in a while. I'm going on Spotify to listen to my audiobooks, which is, when you break a streak, when you break a habit in a customer, it's a really big deal. And I think Spotify has managed to do that. They did use AI for their Wrapped last year, which was a disaster. Didn't get
I heard
get
that
any.
was a flop, yeah.
And then I think my winner of the last few years, not even last year, is YouTube. Let's face it, guys. Like, YouTube is just kicking it. After going back to the Nielsen data, after Disney, it's YouTube that's number 2 at about 9.6 data percent engagement. And it's just, I don't know, it has everything. It really has like unscripted content, scripted content, all of the TikTok and Instagram videos that are part of now YouTube Shorts. You want to put on some background meditation music, it got you. You know, you want to put on some like fireplace crackling music during your Christmas parties, it has you. You want to see a looped video of Zemo dancing from the Marvel show?
Oh yeah,
it's
10
there.
hours.
It's Bear and Zemo. So yeah, just it has a lot of, you know, as I think younger people are also transitioning away from like traditional TV watching and getting a lot of their entertainment from just like pulling up a YouTube video and like browsing on YouTube. And it's just become a habit. It's just become a name. It's just become a habit. And then biggest thing, the advertising business on YouTube is thriving. They did a change last year, which was not letting you proceed if you have your ad block on. And they did a test for a little while, which was actually one of my favorite A/B tests that I've seen. I don't see it anymore, but it was countdown of ads. So you have 3 ads, sorry, not countdown of ads. You have 3 videos left until you'll be blocked to see the ads. Until you'll be blocked and you have to turn off your ad blocker. So it was like really fun experiments that you can see. It's like a tech first company, not a legacy media company. So yeah, YouTube. Yeah. So that is where I'll end my get off the platform and end my section. All right, so I think we're gonna pause and pick up next week. Raven?
William Shakespeare said, "The bigger they are, the harder they fall." No, actually, it was Pitbull. And it's easy to see why, because you have the resources. But what happens when you're not the big dog? Is a gentler lens warranted? Or should we be holding everybody to the same standards because, let's face it, nobody's getting into streaming without Big Daddy Media behind them? Tune in for the next episode where we discuss some of the players in the game who are always adjacent to power without really holding it. Like, Grima Wormtongue to Saruman, but in streaming form.
All right. Bye, full screeners.